I stood at my filing cabinet that quiet afternoon, slowly clearing my desk of all the new folders and documents piled up there. It was only my second week at the railroad company in Fort Worth, my first real job following graduation. At 18, after a couple fast food and retail positions, I was thrilled to have my very own desk in corporate America. The entire week had been a blur of information and activity, and it was good to finally be able to catch my breath and start winding down. I smiled and nodded at a coworker who walked by my office. Just as a call came through from the switchboard, I reached over and picked up the phone. "Michelle speaking, can I help you?" "Hi, Michelle, it's Mom. Have you got a few minutes?" "Sure, what's up?" Her voice had a strange edge to it, so I quickly straightened up and turned toward the window, away from the noise of the hallway. "Well, I just wanted to call and tell you that I'm leaving your father. I've thought about it for a while, and I've decided that things have changed and I need to move out. I've been packing most of the day, so I'm calling to let you know that when you get home for dinner, I won't be there." All the air in the room disappeared, and for several seconds, I couldn't breathe. What? It seemed like an eternity before I would form any words to respond to her. Finally, I choked out a feeble, "What? What did you say?" If she began talking again, I couldn't hear her. My knees suddenly buckled, and I reached a shaky hand towards my chair, slowly pulling it out and collapsing onto it as my heart raced and my mind tried to keep the rest of my body functioning normally. There was simply no way my mother just told me she was leaving. I mean, how could she? As a mother, how could she choose to walk away from her children and not fight to keep the family she and my dad had created intact? Even more, how could my family, a family so prominently committed to ministry work, survive the judgment those under our leadership would surely cast upon us? "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I know this is hard, but I really can't stay. I just wanted to warn you first, since I haven't told your father yet, and you know how angry he'll get. I want to be out of here by the time he gets home." But why? What happened? Did you have a fight? Where are you going?" My mind was trying desperately to place her words into some kind of context I could comprehend. Leaving? After over 20 years of marriage? I could not recall a single time either of my parents had ever even mentioned the word divorce. My extended family back in California certainly had its fair share of broken marriages and relationships, but my parents were different. They had broken that cycle, or so I thought, and in my mind, in the minds of so many of my family members, served as an example of what a loving marriage should be. Marriages didn't just end overnight. They usually eroded for years before something like this could take place, right? Things have been a little tense in our home recently, but certainly nothing that could have prepared me for this. Realizing that everything I'd believed about my parents' marriage and our family's life simply wasn't true crushed my soul. And to know my mom made the decision without giving the opportunity to ask questions, without a family meeting, left me feeling powerless and without a voice to plead with her to fight for us, for me. My mother continued calmly, talking as though she hadn't just ripped a hole in my heart the size of Texas, and more as if she were calling to ask me to stop by and pick up a few groceries on the way home from work. "No, it's not about anything specific. I've been struggling for a while, and I just need to be out on my own. You'll understand when you're older. I've rented a townhouse. Don't worry, I won't be too far." She paused. "Michelle, I'm taking Mia and Drea with me." When would the bleeding stop? Seriously, how much more soul-crushing pain could she deliver in this one phone call that seemed to never end? Not only was my mother leaving, she was taking both my sisters with her, and never once asked if I wanted to go too. What? "Mia is only 9, Mom. Please don't do this." My voice shook as I could no longer hold back the avalanche of emotions raining down on me, and my 18-year-old, trying to hold it together self just lost it. I suddenly morphed from almost independent adult to a 4-year-old child, unable to grasp the reality of life without Mom and Dad. And I began crying out like a child to my mother, "You can't! Mom, please, please come home. You and Dad can work it out. Tell me what to do to help. I'll do it. Just don't leave. Please don't take Mia. I grasped at anything to try to hold my exploding world together. I had been raised to respect my elders and never to speak to my parents in a disrespectful way. But what I wanted to say to her in that moment sounded more like this. What are you thinking? You're the parent. You're not supposed to be messing up like this. Why are you tearing our family apart? Taking my sisters from me? From Dad? From their home? How dare you do this to our family?